channel, Gaming Etc. I'm your host, Etc. Dude. And today we are continuing our run of
Little Goody Two Shoes.
So last time we ended up collecting the tender flesh. And now we're going to figure out what we have to do with that in order to fulfill Elise's dream. And just like with anything in this story, nothing makes sense. So what's going to happen isn't still not going to make much sense, but it's going to lead towards the goal, or specifically her goal, which is to live this life of luxury, which isn't too far off from anybody else's goal, really. No one just says, hey, I'm satisfied with my life as is. People have dreams. With that said, we're going to go ahead and continue our run, and just like with all my runs, I will do my best to help you get every achievement and the best optimal route possible. So let's go ahead and get started. And here we are. It is Wednesday and dawn. Things of note, we should have some Lebkuchen on us. I want to say that is the item asked for by Muffy today. So if you don't already have some, make sure to pick some up. So when that time comes that you have to pay out, it's already ready and set. So I think our first part is to go visit the windmill. So let's go ahead and go do that. Guess I forgot to talk to her. There's Flock.
Rozenmarine!
Good morning, Elise.
Have you completely lost your wits, Rozenmarine? Last night in the woods, what were you thinking, saying, I'm sorry, that wasn't... You weren't yourself, Rozenmarine. What do you mean?
Out with it!
Oh, don't give me that now.
Oh, but
No, Elise. I didn't even step foot in the woods. You were with me the entire time, Rozenmarine. No, I wasn't. I couldn't follow you in the woods. The trees blocked my path. You went on ahead no matter how much I called for you, and I did wait for you, but you never came back for me. That wasn't Rozenmarine. Then who in the Lord's name?
are you alright, Elise?
Is everything alright, Elise? You look a little...
Rozenmarine.
You can talk to me. You don't have to keep it all to yourself.
You know,
I had a dream about you. It was...
Elise.
I saw you and your grandmother, and it felt like I was seeing my path to finding you in Kieferberg.
It's fate, Elise.
Fate, you say? You still don't believe it, do you? Hard not to after last night. Oh, didn't you get it? Huh? Why the testament, at least?
Now that you mention
Yes, those crows, I was off a strand of my hair and... Oh, Elise, that's wonderful. All you need to do is prepare to be eaten. Remember, these are gifts you're giving him, Elise. But it's hair.
Yes.
A part of your mortal body, yes. Gifts for the host. Food, drinks, and good company. Food, you say. The tender flesh needs to be food.
Are you alright, Elise?
You look tired, Elise. Is everything alright? I feel like I'm losing my wits, Rozenmarine.
Elise.
Elise. Come now. Let's head out to work. Everything's falling into place, Elise. You'll see. Alright, now we can head to the windmill. Oh, there's so many crows.
What is this?
What are these crows doing here?
Are you alright, Elise?
This can't be good. I'd best hurry. Shoot, crows. Shoot. Free acorn. Anything else you guys got for me?
What in the Lord's name?
What's all this? I don't think I've ever seen so many crows at once. Come, Rozenmarine. Let's find out what's going on. Yes, we will. Sounded like I was hearing, oh, it must be the kid's head. Okay. Thought I was hearing, Muffy's thing. But I thought that was later as well. So here's the windmill, and this is part of a larger scene. Basically, there's like 3 parts to it, and you don't want to miss any bit of this. Otherwise, you have to redo the entire day all over again. But if you're following along, that shouldn't be an issue at all. I'll take care of it, Father. There's nothing to see here, Elise. You'd best head back to town. You were the ones who first saw the crows, weren't you, Elise? It's not as though you folks believed me when it mattered. I've said it last night, and I'll say it again. You're hiding. It matters not, old Joshin. It must focus on the matter at hand. We all had our fill of trouble last night, didn't we? We don't need any more yelling, that's for certain. Now, they didn't steal that much grain, folks.
You know,
How much did they steal, Mr. Gustav? About a sack in total. We got here in time to prevent the worst. The damn birds were building a nest in the oven. We have to give it a good scrubbing later. It doesn't seem they're keen on attacking us, at least. We've locked it up and trusted Eugene here with the key for now. I appreciate the trust. Of course, especially after all of yesterday's going on. Because he was stolen from, or because he has no horse to steal the grain with. Who's to stand guard here then? Before we get into that, Bernhardt, there's something I'd like to say. We're all well aware of what happened last night. However, we ought to stick together, folks. Now more than ever. You heard the man. Kieferberg is what we make of it. Don't forget that. Gotta head back to church. Is Apfel feeling better, Father? That's what I'm looking into, Finn. You'd best go with Elise. Lebkuchen will fill you in, I'm certain. Will do, Mr. Gustav. Except we're not gonna do that. I was wondering, Elise. Mr. Bernhardt said the crows were trying to make a nest in the oven. I suppose it's a cozy little nook. I don't see what, so there's an oven in the windmill, right? There's always been an oven in the windmill, Rozenmarine. What's your... The tender flesh, Elise. Wouldn't this be a good way to prepare it? Making bread out of it, you say? Maybe you could ask about town if they'd let you in.
now that you mention
That's rather
it,
risky, Rozenmarine. I suppose, but I can't think of any other way either. Not if I want to find him. It's worth a try, I'd say. Alright. I'll see what I can find out. So, now we're going to talk to these town folks, and this is very important, as I mentioned, because if you don't do it, you're not going to be able to get into this windmill, and then you'd have to redo the entire day, assuming that you're following my advice and saving it at the start of the day. I'd say they snuck in through the roof, Gustav. When did you realize the crows were in the windmill, Mr. Wood? Hagrid came about collecting some flour this morning. He was the one who gave the alert. So you've locked it up, have you? We must keep those birds out, at least, or they'll take all our grain. So we have all these options. We have, you could draw them away, or are you standing there all day? I think it was, are you there standing there all day? I understand you'd like to keep guard, but isn't it a little much? We'll be doing shifts, at least. Gustav and Bernhardt are up first. I see. Do you want to stay in guard with us, Elise? I hope you weren't planning on making any bread today, lass. I was, actually. Might want to get some from Gretel today, Elise. Are you certain you're not leaving, Mr. Ludwig? Wouldn't be the wisest to leave it to the crows, would it? I suppose not. You could have a word with Eugene if you're that keen on making bread today. I must ask though, why are you so insistent, Elise? I'd best go see how Apfel's doing. If you'd excuse me. Dang, I chose the wrong one. Let's see, yep. Free item down here. Nothing important about the item, it's just something you can sell. Here's some more people to talk to. I don't make myself too suspicious. Better days will come, lad. When I'm settled in Primaldorf, God willing. Don't make hasty decisions, Eugene. What is it, Elise? You're rather trusted, Mr. Eugene. I was wondering about the key. I'm gonna go with this one. With the key to the windmill. Even. Glass is right, Eugene. It's a shame for you to leave. Nothing I can do about that, folks. There's nothing left for me here in Pitfalls, you see. Still, I think everyone would miss you, Mr. Eugene. Please reconsider. No, I've made up my mind. But I do appreciate it, Elise. Even this key. I will only be holding on to it until the evening. Until the evening, Mr. Eugene. It's too much responsibility, lass. I'm not too comfortable with it in my pocket, I must admit. Why not hand it over to someone else then? I could take it to Mr. Gustav if you'd like. That's alright, Elise. There's no better place than Kieferberg, lad. And so there's that part. I want to say that's all there is to it. Then from here, we're just heading to the church. Let me make sure on my map. Yep, to the church. It's so nice to see you, Elise. You've heard about Apfel, I assume. No, I haven't. Apfel was very ill last night, Elise. He had a very high fever. He was delirious. Oh, the poor lad. Can't bear looking at his little hands. What about them, Miss Dorothea? It's best you hear from me, Elise, so you get the real story. You've been up all night, Lisbeth. We can tell her. Apfel is fine now, as you can see, but last night I was awoken by him moaning, speaking nonsense. His fever was boiling him alive. We called for Father Hans and brought him to the church, but Apfel had never been so ill. I thought I'd lose him. He wasn't all there either. Kept mumbling to himself, and I don't know how, but his hands are injured. It's horrifying, and they were so bloody. It's as if they're pecked at by something. I can't explain it. Please collect yourself, Mrs. Elizabeth. That's right, Mrs. Elizabeth. Take deep breaths. At first, I thought he'd cut the goat's sickness somehow, but it doesn't explain his hands or what happened to my goats. Oh, this is my disgrace. It's alright, Mrs. Elizabeth. We're all here for you. It's alright.
You know,
What about the goats? It must have happened while we were praying for Apfel in church. When Miss Elizabeth went to fetch him dry clothes, she happened upon two of her goats lying on the ground. They'd bled to death, their tongues had been ripped out, and their heads had been severed too. You can rest assured we'll help you, Mrs. Elizabeth. I shall arrange for a doctor to come as soon as possible. What am I to do with one sick goat, Father? We'll make certain you and the children don't go without, Mrs. Elizabeth. You're welcome to have supper with Finn and I anytime, Elizabeth. Thank you, but I don't have the strength, Dorothea. Mrs. Dorothea will be looking after Apfel, Mrs. Elizabeth. You'd best go home and rest for the day. Of course, Father, thank you. Come, I'll walk you and Apfel home.
I'm sorry,
This is awful, Elise. How to pay them a visit later. It's one thing after another, isn't it? But first things first. You have to figure out how I'm going to get my hands on that key. Oh, looks like I need to recover. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, ready to go. So, not much for us to really do. But we're going to talk to a few people, get some items, and then go on a date. So, here's one of them. Ah, there you are, Elise. You seem troubled, Mr. Ludwig. All of Kuiperberg's trouble lasts. Now, can you do me a favor? Bertha and I are thinking of spending a week in Primaldorf after the festival. In Primaldorf, Mr. Ludwig. My daughter has been insisting we visit you, see? Seeing our grandchildren would be good for Bertha too. Why don't you visit more often, Mr. Ludwig? It's such a long way to Primaldorf. It's really not that far away. Do me a favor, will you, Elise? Go ask Finn if he can look after my cabbages while I'm away. Your cabbages, Mr. Ludwig. They need daily tending to, and these crows aren't helping. But tell him he can't simply beat them with a hoe, you hear? Why would he do such a thing? Young lads are lazy, that's why. Alright, let's continue down our path. So let's go ahead and talk with these guys again. Okay, so same information. But let's talk to this one. Say, Mr. Finn. I was talking to Mr. Ludwig, and not the cabbages, huh? He asked you to ask me to look after his cabbages. I know all about it, lass. He's losing his mind. What? That man is obsessed with his cabbages. He's been hounding me about them since yesterday. Well, alright. But what do I tell him, Mr. Finn? I'll do it. Whatever it takes to stop hearing about these wretched cabbages. Alright. Should have technically been some group for me to talk to here. But I think it's just those guys up there. And I'm just misremembering. So let's go collect our reward. You bring good news, I'm certain. Mr. Finn said to leave it to him, Mr. Ludwig. Atta girl, Elise. I'm not the one looking after your cabbages, Mr. Ludwig. You still did me a favor, didn't you? For your trouble. And we got a free spiced wurst. You didn't have to, Mr. Ludwig, but thank you. I'd best go tell Bertha our cabbages will be in good hands. Alright, now we're going to go on our date, and our date is with Rozenmarine, and I want to say she's up in the Old Mill area. So let me reconfirm that and we'll head out there. And here she is.
Look!
For goodness sake.
You and that goat of yours, Rozenmarine.
Oh, Elise.
There's no need to be jealous.
Rozenmarine!
I'm not jealous of a goat, you. Isn't she, Flock? How would you like to sleep with him out in the granary, Rozenmarine? Ah, I'd have a flock to hold close. I wouldn't be cold at all.
For goodness sake.
Why you? Ah, Flock. Don't get so close to the edge. You be careful too, Rozenmarine. You can see everything from here, can't you? I suppose.
Are you alright, Elise?
If something's on your mind, Elise, I can tell. Can't even be left to brood in peace, can I? You're going through some changes, that's all. Some changes, you say? Your path will become clearer and clearer, you'll see. So we have, I don't know about this, and aren't you a little too cheery?
For
That's,
goodness
aren't you a little
sake.
too cheery? It almost feels like you're mocking me, Rozenmarine. Come now, Elise. Give me your hands.
Rozenmarine!
What are you? Let's dance, Elise. You're going too fast, Rozenmarine. We're approaching the full moon, Elise. You know what that means. How would I know such a thing? It's time to celebrate new beginnings.
Here for you, Elise.
Our new beginning, together.
For goodness sake!
What new beginning, Rozenmarine? You're not making sense. Why are you following your dreams, Elise? The fulfillment of my purpose, too. Everything's coming together just the way the stars told me it would.
Rozenmarine!
We ought to celebrate our good fortune, Elise.
Wait!
Wait, Rozenmarine. You're spinning too fast.
Are you alright, Elise?
For goodness sake!
I'm sorry.
I didn't think. I used to dance with Granny like this every month at night. You swung your Granny around like this
Of course.
every month. You're truly, whether you believe me or not, Elise, let me put it this way. You see the castle in the distance, don't you? Yes.
Oh, that's...
It may seem far away from where we stand now, but the stars are even further away. Yet they still guided me to you, didn't they?
Rozenmarine.
Are there any other places with pretty views in Kieferberg? I suppose the windmill's not bad. Will you meet me there tomorrow afternoon then?
I see.
Our new beginning together, she says.
I'm sorry,
Elise. I'll be there, Rozenmarine. We'd best head back now.
Yes.
Alright. So our next task is to return back to the village. And at this time I want to say is when we should be able to bribe Muffy, so be on the lookout for that. There's Lebkuchen.
Muffy!
It's you.
For goodness sake!
That's enough. I'm not giving you one more crumb.
Oh,
But you promised. You promised me some Lebkuchen. I promise you nothing, Mercy.
you
Folks
know.
already think it's strange, Elise, that you knew about the crows since yesterday.
Is that so?
You know what? Why don't you go ahead? Who's to believe a scrawny little squealer like you anyhow? Old Jochin does, Elise. Mrs. Adelaide does, too. Oh, do they? What are you telling them then? That I saw you talking to those crows yesterday. There was a golden one, too, wasn't there?
Muffy!
Why you? Well, following you about town has truly so much fun, Elise. I just know you have Lebkuchen. You promised me tucked away somewhere. Keep your mouth shut, you hear? I don't want to add any more to these folks' imagination. Why, but they're not imagining anything, are they?
Oh, shush it!
Shut up, Muddy. Not one more word about this.
You know.
I'll keep quiet, but I was wondering. I gave you what you wanted, so go away. Alright, but why don't you bring me some hearty soup tomorrow?
Out with it!
Off with you, Mandy. Eek. I suppose I'll be safe for today. So, now we know what the item for tomorrow is. And our next task from here, I want to say, is just to go up to back to the windmill. So on the way, I'm going to pick up that item and then we'll go to the windmill. They've had their fill, I'd wager. The crows, Mr. Guido? They've been circling the windmill all morning, the bastards. Yet they haven't come for the grain even once. Won't you say... Or sorry. Would you say they won't? And no reason to stand guard then. Let's go with this one. If they haven't attempted it until now, who's to say, Elise? Can't leave the windmill, that's what. No. I was saying that maybe now they're not coming for the grain because we're here, I'm certain. They come diving down the moment we left, I'd wager. That's a given. I suppose. Let's try again, make sure we didn't miss anything. They're not leaving. Mr. Eugene's got the key. Maybe Mr. Eugene will be around this evening. Alright. Well, we've done what we could. Alright, and I'm gonna go on a date with Lebkuchen and finish up this part of the day.
Lebkuchen.
I'm all ears, Elise, but make it quick. You're not making this any easier, are you? I wouldn't say It's supposed to be easy, Elise.
No,
Lebkuchen, I'm truly sorry about what happened yesterday. For all the trouble you went through afterwards, too. That's alright, Elise. I forgive you.
Lebkuchen.
Huh? More importantly, won't you lend me a hand? On the swing, I mean. So you got, you're too stubborn, Lebkuchen, or you're not being fair, Leb. And you're not being fair, Leb.
You know,
Why won't you let me apologize? Why? Haven't you already?
For goodness sake.
Properly, Lebkuchen. You can't just say you forgive me.
I wonder.
My. I'm fairly certain I can, Elise. I haven't even done anything to. You keeping me company every day is more than enough, I'd say.
Lebkuchen.
Come now. Give me a push, will you? You're truly... Push harder, Elise.
You know,
I'll make it up to you, Leb. I promise I will.
Oh, Elise.
Do you remember what you did to my shoes that time, Elise?
For goodness sake.
Oh, don't start with those stories. Using old Wilhelm's saw to take out my heels. I thought they were hurting you. All you ever did was stand all day. Or that night you broke my bedroom window with a rock.
Shush it, you.
I was trying to call you outside, Leb. You also hid all my veils and habits in the abandoned house once. I never liked you having to wear all that nonsense. That's true. You never did. Oh, remember that one time you...
For goodness sake.
I remember it all, Lebkuchen. Quit embarrassing me. That's why I'm so upset, Leb. All I ever seem to do is get you in trouble. That's true. I've always been a bit of a nuisance. Took you long enough to.
Oh, Elise.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I care about you, Elise. You know that by now. I know that, but... Come now. I've been telling you that I care about you just as much, like Kuchen. What's there to get flustered about you? Say, I'll be home tomorrow morning to lend a hand. I'll be there, Leb. Alright. But you can't steal all the feeling again.
For goodness sake.
I was 6 years old, Lebkuchen.
Lebkuchen?
Be right there, you. Alright, so now we made it to Dusk, and not really much for us to do here at dusk time. So the only other option is to either do a chore or go on a date. We're going to go with the latter of those two, which is to go on a date with Freya, who is our last remaining date. I want to say she's just in town, so let's go there. So before I go ahead and do that, I also gotta make sure all my stuff is set for then. And here's Freya. Enjoying yourself, are you?
Elise!
Oh, Elise. I'm so glad you're here. I was losing my wits.
Now that you mention it,
Mrs. Wilma been giving you a hard time, I wager. I don't want to be mean, but she can be a little pushy. Ill-bred and ungrateful. That's what she is.
Oh, Elise!
Elise. All of Kieferberg would agree with me, and you know it. Sit now. Let's stop talking about Mrs. Wilma for a moment. You put up with too much of these folks' nonsense, Freya. I don't have much of a choice, the way I see it. Yes, you do, Freya. Folks have always promised me left and right, Elise. I can't help but feel I ought to live up to their expectations. You don't have to live up to anything. You know that.
I know, but...
You won't understand, Elise. Huh? Daisies truly see you best, don't they?
for goodness sake.
You keep avoiding the subject, Freya. Not on purpose. So, if you're not serious about this, and it very much is, Freya, and that's our option. You know it. I know it.
I know.
I've always been ashamed of what I did, Elise. It's alright, Freya. It's in the past. Wolves keep pitting us against each other when we were children, and I... Oh, Elise, I got to confess. Huh? The eggs you picked for Mrs. Bertha that day, I broke them. I broke them on purpose. Freya.
Oh, what can we do?
I'd made a mess of her laundry that day, and I was so afraid I had her give you an earful instead, so she'd forget about me.
For goodness sake.
For goodness sake.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, Elise. I did so many bad things back then. Blaming you for my blunders, getting you in trouble at every chance, telling the townsfolk you weren't capable, so they'd ask for me, and
I see.
I said it's alright, Freya. I didn't understand how I felt back then, either. So
For goodness sake.
I don't hold any of that against you. Then when you said I was compensating,
You know, I
understand, Freya. I know how you feel now. Alright?
Elise.
Things are different now, aren't they? We've been spending more time together, being honest with each other.
Elise.
Oh, Elise. I like being your friend, Freya. Let's put it all behind and...
Oh, Elise! Oh, it's wonderful!
I love spending time with you too. I've always wanted to get close to you. Freya, I can't breathe. Now that we're truly friends, I'm truly so... Oh, I'm so happy. Gee, Freya. I ought to have said all this a lot sooner. Good. Freya, dearie, how are the reeds coming along? Ah, it's Mrs. Wilma. How are you so strong?
Oh, right!
Before I go, Elise, I'll be home all afternoon tomorrow. I'll be there. Freya, I'm coming,
sorry.
Mrs. Wilma. For goodness sake. I think I'd better sit down a moment. Alright, so it's nighttime, and that means that, or I wouldn't say nighttime, but, you know, evening time. And that means that there's obviously things to do, and potentially golden maidens, and in this case, yes, there is a golden maiden for us to go grab. So she'll just be up this way. And I want to say it's at the windmill area. Yep, there. Another one I see. Huh? Say, what is it that you're meeting him for? I don't think that's any of your business. Let me tell you something then. Forsake all you think you know about yourself. What do you mean? There's no amount of determination that can save you from him. Once you're in those woods, once you go through that door, what? You'll be left with nothing but harrowing regret. Why are you telling me all this? And we got some free apple strudel. Alright. Let's go and collect our free bread. Wait, Elise. There you are, lassie. Huh? Need to have a word with you, Elise. A word with me, you say. Your cousin's been going about town spreading nonsense, Elise. Such as, why would the crows have nothing to fret about, for instance? She's a kind soul, Mrs. Elma. What does that matter? I know she's a kind soul. She isn't afraid of any animals. On the contrary. I see how that might be true, at least, but still. We're to be weary about such things, not make little of them. I understand, Mrs. Elma. But that's not all, lass. She's been asking about Apfel's fever. You see? Why, she's a warrior, Mr. Ludwig. What of it? Everyone's worried about Apfel. Why wouldn't she be? Well, that's a fair point, Elise. I don't think there's any point in making too much of things, Mrs. Elma. This is dangerous. I have to make certain I bring Rozenmarine to work with me. I'll have to deal with this every day. Yeah, it's pretty normal. Yeah, let's get our free bread. I know, Elise. Haven't said anything yet, have I? You don't have to, Elise. What am I to do with you, Lebkuchen? At least tell me you'll get a good night's sleep tonight. If nobody else breaks into fever, I might. Here's your bread, Elise. What's on your mind, Lebkuchen? Things that would upset you, Elise. I'm not certain you trust me at all. I trust you enough to not ask you about it. You keep coming back to this, Leb. If there's... I mean it, Elise. You don't have to tell me. Whatever it is, you can't tell me. I won't pry. You trust me that much, huh? Even if you truly were the witch. Lebkuchen. I mean it, Elise. I trust you'll tell me in time. Whenever you're ready. You're truly tired. For someone who's so attentive to others, Lebkuchen, you're not. I'll see you about town tomorrow. For goodness sakes, you're so stubborn. Okay, let's head home. Elise. Elise, come quickly. What's the matter, Jacob? It's Apfel. It's gone missing. What? Oh, please. Come quick, Elise. We must go and look for him. That's right. We can't sit about waiting forever.
You know,
What's going on here? Apfel's gone missing, Elise. Hopefully the lad will find him on their patrol. They will happen upon him, I'm certain. They don't know he's missing, Father. By the time they're back, my poor boy could have... Mama. We all need to remain calm. Calm, Father. My boy is missing. Lord knows if he's alright, let alone if the worst has happened. We all knew those crows were an omen.
out with it!
Not this again, you old wretch. Ought to have taken the lad to the witch. What a terrible thing to say, old Joshin.
You old geezer!
You truly have no decency, you.
That's enough!
We cannot give into hysteria, brethren. Oh, to think the lads went out in search of crows. The crows were a threat, lass. Oh, that's it. I'm going looking for him myself.
Anyway,
I'll go. Let me be the one to go, Miss Elizabeth. best we wait for the lads. I can't allow... Oh. Will you really, Elise? Now there's a brave lass. Oh. But Father Hans is right. It's dangerous. Leave it to me, Mrs. Elizabeth. Oh, Elise. I do not condone your disobedience, Elise. I do. I need you to go, Elise, for Angelica's sake as well. Truly, the poor lass can't be without a mother. We can lend a hand with whatever you need, Elise. You'd best make certain you have enough food and matches, dear. I'll be here, Elise. Let me know when you're leaving. Alright, and before you venture off, make sure to talk to a lot of these town folks that have free items for you. I don't remember who and who doesn't have it, so just talk to them all. First it was that awful fever, now this. Miss Elizabeth looks horrified. Can't even imagine. We can only hope he hasn't broken into fever again, wherever he is. All you can do is bring him back to Kieferberg as fast as you can, at least. There's only so much one can do after all. Oh, I wouldn't know what to do if it happened to me. You best keep a close eye on Maggie, Mrs. Lorelei. Mary, she can look after herself just fine, lass. Better than most folk here in Kieferberg, I'd say. Mrs. Lorelei, or Mandy, is still a child. Oh. There's much you don't know about her, Dorothea. Such as... she wouldn't let herself starve, for starters. So nothing from them. My Elise, I wasn't expecting you to volunteer, of all people. That was rather brave of you, Elise. Couldn't sit still and do nothing. My, how fearless. Truly, with all the talk about the witch and whatnot, if only the lads were in town. Who knows? They might find out about... They don't even know to look for Apfel, Elise. It could happen nonetheless, Elma. Do you have everything you need, Elise? I believe I do, Mrs. Elma. Why don't you take this? There, we got some free bandages. It's not much, I know. Thank you, Mrs. Elma. Well, I don't expect any charity from me, lassie. Be careful, Elise. Let's go talk over here. Let me go with you, Elise. You're not going anywhere, Jacob. A man too. Apfel needs us, Granny. Elise doesn't need you getting in her way, Jacob. Your mother's right, Jacob. It wouldn't get in the way, I wouldn't. I can't look after you and myself at the same time. Do you understand? Oh, I wouldn't. We must trust Elise, Jacob. I know you're hurting, Jacob. But she's right. Mama. I'll do my best to find Jacob, I promise. Alright, Elise. Nothing from them either. Well, he's alright, dearie. I can only hope you're right, Mrs. Marilay. You must keep a positive outlook, Mrs. Elizabeth. I thought you didn't condone my disobedience, Father. My duty is to care for my brethren. Well, it's being, Elise. You ought to be aware it's dangerous. The last couldn't bear the thought, Father. We can't leave Apfel roaming the woods all by himself. Lord knows how sick he was yesterday. If that fever were to strike him again in those woods, I'll make certain I find him, Miss Elizabeth. I appreciate it, Elise. But if you find it's too dangerous, Elise, we'll find him, Elizabeth. You must trust the lass. Here you go, Elise. Be careful. And ointment. Thank you, Miss Elizabeth. We'll make certain to send the lads after you when they arrive. Don't wander off too far, you hear? Thank you, Elise. And let's talk to these guys as our last group. Oh, Elise. Maybe it's best one of us goes with you. I'll be fine, Mrs. Mechtilde. You can always change your mind, Elise. Lebkuchen's right, Elise. Who's to go if I don't, Freya? Well, it's a good thing that you volunteered, Elise. You're a capable lass. I'm certain you'll find him. Thank you, Mrs. Ariane. I'm wondering how we didn't notice. It's no use blaming ourselves, Mrs. Mechtilde. The children told Mrs. Dorothea they lost sight of Apfel. Sometime before nightfall, it seems. Apfel was feeling alright. It may be that. What, Freya? Perhaps he fell ill and didn't want anyone to fret. Oh, don't say such a thing. Apfel couldn't have wandered too far. Anyhow, I'll be fine. Apfel got lost somewhere. I'm certain. That's all there is to it. May the Lord be with you, Elise. So no items from them, so let's go ahead and get going. Here I am again. I have to find Apfel and fast. That Crow's trying to tell me something, I suppose.
What is this?
This isn't where it was yesterday, is it? Apfel? Apfel. Can you hear me? I'll have to find him. Goodness knows what could have happened to him by now. Got a mosaic slab. What's this thing? Tile? Go down that way. Can we go back? Nope. Can't be wandering about. Must find Apfel. Here's a golden maiden. Ignorance is bliss. Has nobody ever told you that? Plenty of times, I suppose. To be unable to grasp how fortunate we are until it's too late. Charmingly tragic, isn't it? I don't see what's so charming about it. You come face to face with it, too. The ruinous grief of your biggest, heaviest regret. What's yours then? The same as yours. We're all the same. Penitents. Talking to the girls like this is never a very pleasant experience, is it? And we got a pearl rosary. Got another mosaic slab. Let me move out of the way so I don't get hit. What's this thing? A tile? I think I'm missing one. So I can do that. What's this thing? A tile. And a few matches. This wall is a mosaic. Missing pieces, isn't it? Missing pieces, missing pieces. That's what I said. Thank you very much. I don't quite have time to wander about this, do I? Just move along and find Apfel. She's witless, she's witless. Why, you little? This is my house.
Huh?
No, can't be. Imagining things. I don't have time for this nonsense. You ought to. You ought to find Apfel. So there, now we solved that little mosaic. Go ahead and move on. And like always, there's gonna be save points there. Use them as you need them.
What in the Lord's name?
That's my house. Must be losing my mind. Free grape juice. More acorns.
What in the Lord's name?
What is this? My house. My progeny, Elise.
Huh?
Who's there? Come closer, Elise. Delve deeper. Into my grove. What in the Lord's name? Your fate, Elise. Your genesis is in the tapestry. That woman, she wished for a child of her own. At his doorstep, she kneeled, she prayed. Not to me, but to him. My grove became the vessel, my soil, the babe's mortal body. In my very womb, they celebrated their agreement. For him came what I lacked, what I failed to lay my hands upon. A human soul, to be nurtured in my womb, and later given to her as her daughter. When in truth, it's me your body belongs to, Elise.
What is this?
What? In the Lord's name? There's something under the tapestry. This dough. Its insides have been my womb, used for that woman's wish. I was used. What in the Lord's name is going on here? What are these voices trying to tell me? I don't want to look at it. Well, it clings to the tapestry's bottom half, thoroughly coating every stitch in deep red filth. But here's the golden maiden right here. Kind of hard to miss. You're wearing my brooch still. Huh? What is one to do when the Lord fails them, would you say? Wait, what are you? Our union was favored by the Lord himself, and yet my inability to bear a child drove a wedge between us. Who are you? So, I did what I could. I resorted to his blessing instead. I brought him my beloved in exchange for baby.
What is this?
Wait. You can't be. All I could say to you, Elise, who's following in my steps, is that this is what my soulmate would want me to do. For my sake, for our union's sake, and for yours as well. That last, it's as if she knew me. I don't know what's going on here, but I can't stay here any longer. I have to find and save Apfel. So save point here. Its part is not really that tricky, but if you're not understanding what's going on, it can seem a little tricky. Shouldn't be that hard to figure out.
What in the Lord's name?
Hold tight. Okay, get it there.
That was tiring.
Let's get you out of there and go home.
Rozenmarine.
The woodland, this grove, it's aching. Rozenmarine. Your flesh, your blood, your love. All that's rightfully mine. My progeny.
What is this?
This thing's not Rozenmarine. I can give you all that you desire. What? My beloved daughter.
What in the Lord's name?
What are you? This last Rozenmarine. Is she the one your heart desires? What are you? They're coming. We will meet again. A vile stench, a vile stench. Tainting our grove, tainting our
Out
grove.
with it!
It's you. The lad's staying where he is, lassie. The lad's staying, the lad's staying.
Hurry it up!
Apfel, come now. Elise. Quickly, Apfel. We have to leave this place. That creature has brought him right into our beaks, lass. We're not about to waste a hearty meal. A hearty meal, a hearty meal. Ah, my eye. Come, Apfel. We'll curse you, we'll curse you. Dare not defy. Leave the lad. We'll devour him, we'll devour him.
Alright?
Apfel, run. You can't move, Elise.
What in the Lord's name?
She's mimicking my movements. My legs. They're moving on their own. We have to leave this place, Apfel. Elise. Scared.
Anyway,
Come, Apfel. You have to move. Alright, for this part right here, you have to move and you're moving in tandem. And it's... if you just go wildly, you're more than likely just going to fall into the pit. It's a little bit harder to see, but some of these tiles move. The ones that move, don't step on them. The ones that don't move, step on them. So like, right here, not moving, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. And so, if you can't see it, just wait, look, and make sure none of them are moving. It should match both yours and his. So, not moving, not moving. See the ones to my left? The one, there's a tree on my side, but on his, it moves. So you know that's not where you want to go. Same right here. Now this one's a little bit easier. You can see that it's just vibrating like a little heartbeat. That's not where you're going. But with it, just take your time. There's no rush with this part. And done. Oh man, I think for this one we gotta be faster. Release my eye. Where are we going? Watch your step, Apfel. We'll find a way. Just because it allows it, I'm going to save it. Here we go. Dang it. There we go. Alright, another save point. Go ahead and do that and recover a little bit of my life as well. At least I can't see where I'm going.
wait!
Don't wander around too much, Apfel. Try to follow my voice. Elise, where are you?
Alright.
It's alright, Apfel. Walk in a straight line. I'll be watching over you. Feel dizzy, Elise. Trust me, Apfel. I'm right here.
Keep it together, Elise.
I must run to make sure I don't lose sight of him. Oops. And just like it says, run. You gotta beat him to every point that he's going to try to reach for, while being as cautious as possible. Because you have a limited amount of life. So, first one you want to hit is this guy here on the right. You gotta stand on it until he clears it, and then you can go ahead and proceed forward. Next one is horse. Oh, the wrong way. Are you alright, Apfel? At least I feel dizzy. Wait for me, I'm coming for you. Elise. I'm with you now, Apfel. It'll be alright.
Alright.
Let's go now. Back to Kieferberg. Mama. Oh, thank heavens. You're alright. Mama, Apfel. I'm so scared, Mama. You're alright now, my boy. Oh, Apfel. I thought I'd never see you again. It's alright, my loves. We're together now. That's a relief. Good Lord, Elise. You really did find him. It wasn't easy, that's for sure.
Atta girl.
Elise. Folks told us all about it. You're about to set off after you. This is the moment to celebrate, folks. Prepare us a feast, Wilma. We're drinking to Elise tonight. Oh, how wonderful. I'll get right to it. We can't compromise the festival, Wilma. There's nothing better to celebrate than this, Father. The lad's right, Father. We got to celebrate. To the end, folks. To the end.
Elise.
For goodness sake.
What are you doing here, Rozenmarine? You weren't coming back, so I came back for you.
I'm sorry,
I saw you coming back with Apfel. You got lost in the woods. I went to look for him, is all. Oh, but is he alright?
You know,
Say, Rozenmarine. You've been home this whole time, haven't you?
Of course.
Ah, yes. I made supper and everything. You were taking so long. I thought, come Elise, we have to celebrate. I'll be right there, Mr. Heinrich. You head home, Rozenmarine.
Yes.
Oh, alright. I won't take too long, alright? I'll be home waiting for you, Elise. And now we can go ahead and join everybody at the end.
Atta girl.
Peace. Everybody owes you a great debt, lass. Lord knows what could have happened had it not been for you. I was lucky, is all. No, Elise, I owe you an apology. What matters is that Apfel is safe and sound, Father. Heinrich's right. We have good reason to celebrate. Bottoms up, everybody. To Elise, our bravest lass. To Elise, to Elise. Oh, you don't have to. Nonsense, lass. It's better than the festival you know. A great deal better indeed. It's our chance to unwind, folks. Why don't you grab some ale and go grab Freya for a dance, Elise? Ah, yes. We're drinking all night long, lads. To Elise. And assuming you followed my advice and did all the events, you'll see Eugene over there in the corner. Go talk to him, he should give you the key. There you are, Elise. The girl of the hour. Are you alright, Mr. Eugene? Now you too, Elise. A man has to make the most of what he's got left. Don't tell me ale is all you got, Mr. Eugene. Why don't you take this, Elise? The windmill key. The key. I won't be needing it where I'm going. That's for certain. Mr. Eugene. You be careful, Elise. These folks aren't to be trusted. Blaming the witch for what happened to my horses. They're all in on it. That's why. I can't very well tell him it really was the witch, can I? Kieferberg this, Kieferberg that. You're the only one in town who's not enamored with this rat hole of a town, Elise. I suppose. Get away while you can. Lest this place ruins you like it ruined me. So now that we have the key, we can go and craft the tender flesh. I do recommend that you save it beforehand. I don't remember if there was a save up there, so I'm going to go to the left and save it, and then we can head up there. Oh, and there was a save point here. So go ahead and save beforehand. It's going to be like a little game that you're going to play in there, similar to one that you've already done for your chores. And the point of this one is that yes, you do have to win it in order to get the flesh. Okay, let's go out inside. You've come, you've come. The gift lass, the tender
Out
flesh.
with it!
I've come here to do just that, you wretch. Show it to me, show it to me. Your Ador. You're longing for that wish of yours.
This is ridiculous!
I've already been to your grove. Cleared your trial. What else is it you want from me? Your commitment. Your commitment. Show it to me, lassie. Your commitment. The tender flesh. That crow. It's gone. And we acquired the tender flesh. It's got my hair in it. It'll do, I suppose. It's best I get out of here. The sooner the better. When did I that dream again? But I was in town just now. You again. Didn't you hear me? We'll be late for his banquet if you don't hurry.
Wait!
Banquet? What are you? Donnerstag. Thursday. It's morning already? I don't feel like I got any sleep at all. It's best I go find Rozenmarine. I'm begging you, Flock. What's going on out there? Oh, please stay put, Flock.
For goodness sake.
It's gone into him.
I'm sorry.
Elise. He's throwing a temper tantrum is all. I didn't know goats could do such a thing. I had my hands full with breakfast. I couldn't give him much attention. That's what you get for spoiling him so much. That's what. I know. I can't resist his sweet little hops.
For goodness sake.
You're truly... Are you feeling better today, Elise? You still haven't told me about what happened. I can't tell her the full extent of it, can I? Not about what I saw in the woods, or about her.
I'm sorry.
Are you listening, Elise? Huh?
Are you alright, Elise?
You were telling me about the woods.
Now that you
Apfel
mention
got
it.
lost in the woods, that's all. I went in there to rescue him, I suppose. You're not telling me the whole truth, are you?
Elise.
You know,
There's someone in those woods, Rozenmarine. I don't know who they are or what they want from me, but I felt their presence there since Monday.
Oh, that's...
Someone in the woodlands, you say? I'm certain they hurt Apfel or lured him in, even. Have you seen that old hag again, Elise? The one who told you about him and the testaments? I haven't seen that old hag since then, but that Rozenmarine I met in the woods. I don't know what to make of any of this, do I?
I'm sorry,
Elise. Come, Rozenmarine. We should move along.
but...
Oh. It's best you go ahead without me, Elise. I think I'd best find Flock. I'll be right there with you. Alright. So, because it's a new day, I'm gonna save it, and we're gonna stop here. So, that was our playthrough of Wednesday in Little Goody Two Shoes. And we had figured out what more to do with the tender flesh that we had obtained before from the Crow's domain. We had put together that, hey, we should make it into a bread. And as we were learning that, we also found out that the town had been basically run by crows. Crows had just been hanging around. Another fellow villager, Apfel, had fallen ill, and under the influence of the old hag. We'd gone in there, we'd saved him, and now we have turned our tender flesh into bread. So we are one step closer to fulfilling our wish, and all that's left to do is to get the remaining testaments. So when we continue this, we'll be on Thursday working towards fulfilling all parts of this, so Elise can finally get her wish. So until then, thanks everybody for watching.